Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. Listen, I have a long-awaited video for y'all today, man. I finally am gonna drop this video on how to be quick on your feet during a conversation. How when you're dealing with a Dooney demon, when you handling a side quest, do you say the right things at the right time? How you just on point, on fire when y'all going back and forth? How do you flow the conversation smoothly? How do you let her to enjoy it? How do you do all these things so naturally and so easily and so consistently? So listen, I'm gonna give y'all my best advice on how to stay on your toes and be quick during the conversation, from easiest to hardest. So starting with the easiest one, we can get this out the way off the rip. Presentation, bro. Now, when I say presentation, I ain't trying to hear that, oh my God, bro, I'm fat. Oh my God, bro, I'm short. Oh my God. Like, bro, listen. Y'all be complaining about your physical features as if your competition is Justin Timberlake, bro. You're not competing with Justin Timberlake, bro. You're competing with Mike from Marshalls, bro. That's your comp. You don't even have the comp of freaking Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber. You ain't competing with them, bro. So all you need to do, 9 times out of 10, have some little bit of style. You ain't gotta wear no expensive stuff. Smell good. Brush your teeth regularly, bro. And you pretty much good to go. You ready for your side quest. That's all the armor and loot that you need. That can go a long way, especially smelling good, bro. Now, let's say you walk past the girl knowing you smell good. Walk past her on purpose, then turn around and say, excuse me. The Dooney demon already just smelt that. She already like smiling a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? You might even catch her turn around. Y'all already, like, listen, this is another thing I want to emphasize during this whole experience of going back and forth, being quick and being smooth. It's an art, bro. It's like dancing. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be effortless yet intentional. Because what you have to realize is everybody has a different personality. That's the simplest way I can put it. Everybody has a different personality. So, for example, me, I honestly get some things can make me want to talk to a girl more based on how I see that she thinks or how I hear that she thinks. It literally just happened with that E-Day video that I dropped. I wasn't even gonna go in there, but as I was listening to this girl, I could tell she had a lot to say. I could tell she was talking about some things with substance. I went in there and asked one question. Next thing you know, I won the whole E-Day. So now, that one question was so good. The sub questions, like the questions that came after that question, like the follow-up questions, hold on. I ain't want no lip ball on my shit, man. I don't know what that is. But listen, I don't even have to like give a compliment, cause y'all know what I'm talking about with compliments. And I'm gonna drop a video on Patreon tonight on when compliments matter and how I give compliments with my game. So listen, you'll see in a lot of conversations that I have with women, one of the things that carry me, and to be honest, this is one of the things that really carry me during these conversations, is my ability to be a good listener. So a lot of times I may hear a girl say this or hear a girl say that. Bring it back up later. Now this is if you already bagged the girl. I'm not talking about on her approach. I'm just talking about, like, let's say you're doing with her, period. Hear her say something. You listen to her, right? Bring it back up to her later and be like, remember you said that? She obviously remembers that she said that, right? But the fact that you're asking her if she remembers she said that and you're bringing it back up, it shows that you were listening. It subtly shows that you care. And this is not in some simp way. It's a way that makes her feel like when she talks, you're listening and you're aware of her and you're paying attention to her and you think about her. All of that from just reminding her of something she said before. And it could be something simple, like I was just on Twitch live. You want to catch the lives? I was just on Twitch live playing a game with a girl, and she said something about she asked me, like, do they have these certain wing spots on the East Coast? And I was like, no, they don't. And that's why I was like, right? I remember she said that she named like 2 spots. Then later during the conversation, she talked about what did I do for that day, and I was like, oh yeah, I went Christmas shopping that day, right? Boom. Then she was like, what did you get me for Christmas? And I was like, I played it off. I was like, huh? Oh, my mic, I was like, my microphone acting up a little bit. My microphone acting a little weird. I can't hear you, right? Fast forward. I was like, what did you get me for Christmas, right? And she did the same thing. We just fucking around with each other, right? So next thing you know, I was like, you know what I want for Christmas? And she's like, what? And then I was like, I want you to take me to this spot and this spot. You know what I'm saying? The 2 spots that she named prior to that. Now, I can't come up with the ability to say that if I wasn't listening or paying attention to when she said it the first time. You guys got to become better listeners, because guess what? People love to talk, man. You press square on the NPC, you get a whole side quest. I'm telling you, people love to talk. People love attention. And people love when they notice someone is a good listener, and they'll talk more. They'll come to you often. They'll love to talk to you just for the simple fact that you engage in good conversations. And from that, from having a good conversation, bro, your success rate during side quests automatically go up 75%. You can get carried by looks, you can get carried by height, you can get carried by status, you can get carried by money, you can get carried by all of these things. But when you have a mouthpiece, when you have ability, and really it comes from this. A lot of people talking about not running out of things to say. I asked the opposite question. How do you run out of things to say? I'm always learning something new. I'm always thinking about something. My brain is always actively moving. If I'm dealing with a girl and she can't match my intellectual like desire for life, like my intellectual like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a passion. I love to talk. I love to think. I love to, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people call it overthinking. No, I love to think. I love to think. So I bring this to any conversation I have, anything I'm talking about. And a part of this also comes from what, because I wrote this third one down, is how perceptive you are. So I'm gonna give you the best example of this. And this one is really, really important because it can change how effective you are during conversations. With that being said, so imagine this. Perceptiveness. You're talking to a girl, right? And you approach her and you notice that when you approach her, she looks like off, off a little bit, like you scared her, or she's a little nervous. And so being perceptive of how she is feeling right now. And guess what? All of this comes from not thinking about yourselves. A lot of dudes, when they approach women, what do I say? What do I do? What it's I, me. You got a whole nother human being in front of you don't know, and you worried about yourself. What do I say? What do I do? Bro, get into the rhythm, feel the dance, set the tone. You bring your energy with you, but you so fearful and you so thinking from a state of mind of meeting her expectations and her standards that you're not even trying to be yourself. That's your best game. Guess what? Guess what? Every dude that got game for real is unique. You might see similarities in something in little areas, but guess what? It's always going to be unique. So you got the 3 best dudes in your life that you think got game. You put all of them in the same room with the same girl, and they went 5 minutes with that girl. They all should, especially if they got game, produce different connections, emotions, and experiences with that woman in just 5 minutes. Now, the bottom line, she's probably gonna be smiling. She'll be happy. She might feel more seduced from one guy. One guy make her laugh more. One guy might make her smile more. But it's just, I talk about these things all the time. Every guy has different characteristics. When it comes to perceptiveness, though, as you're approaching that girl and you're perceptive of how she's feeling, what she could be thinking, and how something you may say to her may make her feel depending on how she's feeling. For example, it's a lot of things I won't say or won't do if I can tell that a girl is not fully comfortable yet. And it might not even be that she's uncomfortable, but she's still in that stage where she's very shy or she's very nervous. So if a girl is very nervous or very shy, I double down on not necessarily spitting game to her, but just treating her like a friend. Because guess what? it'll open her up more. Then now we can set the tone for more intimate and intense interactions. But if she don't get this feeling that I'm not pressuring her or I'm not trying too hard, she will never open up. So, and imagine I'm perceptive of the opposite. This girl is on go. She's on demon time. She trying to get that one-way trip to Dooney Land in the back of the Dooney van. At that point, we could dance a little faster. We could skip a step or two. You know what I'm saying? We can get right to it. So all of this just comes from practicing dealing with different women. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, you can't talk to women because you don't talk to women. It's that simple. So a lot of this just comes from practice. I'll be honest that a lot of people, including myself, social skills have been impacted by this whole quarantine, social distance, COVID thing. And that is just simply because you want to know when I was at my sharpest and best game and best conversation? When I was working at the biggest mall on the East Coast, at the biggest store in the biggest mall. Well, it wasn't the biggest store in the biggest mall, but it was like one of the top 3 biggest stores in that mall. In the mind you, this mall is the biggest mall on the East Coast, if not top 2. So with that being said, could you imagine how many NPCs I interacted with daily every time I went there? Imagine how many women worked at this job. Even thinking back to high school, I had almost 3,000 students in my high school. Then we across the street from an all-girls high school. Do you understand how XP farming wasn't even a word, bro? Double XP. You should damn near just fall from the sky. But just by being in this environment, it's just the instincts that you adapt. Now, I will be honest, I do have a natural ability to talk, to be like smooth and quick on my feet. I just always been like this. But at the same time, talking to more women, accepting more side quests, getting my level up, helped me do it and perfect my mistakes. For example, I'll give y'all one of my most recent mistakes that I remember. I was talking to a lot of women at this one job right now. Mind you, the way I used to be is I didn't care if, I wasn't really perceptive of myself. So an example of this being that I remember I was talking to this one girl and then another girl got mad, but I couldn't realize why. It's not like I was doing anything crazy. It wasn't like I was talking to her about anything crazy. But I went to her friend. I asked her friend, what's wrong with her? And that's when she was like, well, when you was talking to that girl, you were smiling too much. And I was like, that's when I started to realize, as I'm talking to people, as I'm interacting with people, I have to be aware of what kind of energy I'm projecting during this conversation. Am I smiling too much? Am I showing too much excitement during the conversation? Am I being too hype in the conversation? Is this even, because guess what? Is this even necessary? And then that's when, like I said, I started to gut out all the fluff to my game. All the extra smiling, all the extra trying to be funny, all that got cut out. Then I started to get more direct. Now mind you, I was never heavy on compliments. But as far as the whole experience of just talking to that girl and just having fun and just, making her laugh, I realized you literally can make a girl laugh and have fun without even laughing yourself. That be when she's laughing the most. I swear to God, when you can make her laugh without laughing yourself. That's how you know you press her buttons, bro. You just talking to her and you but it all depends on your personality. Me, I have a sarcastic wittiness to me. So a lot of the times, let's say I'm using big ass words when I'm talking to girls, they might find that funny. If I'm just talking to them and I'll be like, oh, that's quite contradictory to what you did. They just might like that stuff though. But this is just me. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know where you feel most comfortable at. Because if you're trying to, let's say you're introverted and you're trying to interact with women with extroverted manners, you're gonna drive yourself crazy, and that force the woman can feel. Because listen, you could look at anybody during a conversation. This ain't really something you can measure, but you could look at anybody during a conversation and be like, this person's desperate for attention. This person feels needy or clingy. This person's scared. I'm telling you, we could look at a person and decide that like this. Now, especially mind that. Think about it from a woman's perspective. You know how many men approach her daily? You know how many guys try to talk to her daily? If anybody knows good game from bad game, even though women don't have game, a lot of them don't. She could tell a corny sucker from a smooth dude like this. Why? Because so many men approach her daily, probably since she was like 15 years old. And she done seen so many different men's game, many different men's approaches, many different men's styles, how they smell, how they talk, how they all these different things. So the only thing that's gonna really impress her is you being yourself. You know what I mean? So that's basically my tutorial on what I feel like can help you be quicker on your toes. Just remember during this whole thing, there's no pressure. There's no obligation to say anything. There's no obligation to do anything. Because guess what? What you have to realize, anybody can say anything. So I could literally go outside, go to a girl on the corner right now and be like, the sky is falling. Tomatoes come from grapes. Cheese is made in a can. And she will be like, what the fuck? And she'll probably call the cops. But guess what? There's nothing stopping me from saying that except myself. You know what I'm saying? I will obviously seem crazy. But the point I'm making is, you don't even realize the freedom you have during a conversation. You could literally talk about anything, bro. There's no one magic topic or one magic sentence to get any girl in the world. If there was, everybody would know it. Everybody would know it. There's always different flavors for different doing demons, bro. There's always different speeds. There's always different way to handle things. You just got to be adaptable by being perceptive, by being a good listener, by having your confidence from how you present yourself. You know you got your mustache is trimmed. You know you smell good. You know you got a pretty decent outfit on. But guess what? Don't pride yourself. Me personally, I know most of my game does not come from my looks, my height, my weight, my status, none of that. My game comes from my mind. So I feed my brain. And I don't, so when I said I feed my brain, I don't do it for the women. I feed my brain, I just love knowledge. I just love to learn. So that by the time I deal with a woman and she catches on to my intelligence and how much I know, listen, it's like a hook that they try to sink into me. A woman, when she sees the kind of man that she could learn from, and that could, and I'm not just talking about like, here, let me show you the blueprint. Here's X, Y, and Z. I mean, like, she just around you and she just catch stuff falling from you because you just thinking, you just talking, you so intelligent. And you just learning so much. You build her up and boss her up accidentally. Just from being around you. Ain't with 3 clowns, you be the 4th one. So it's the same way that, like, you gotta realize how perceptive people are of your energy and what you're projecting. So that's why a lot of times if you approach a girl and you're nervous and you scared, she gonna curve you just because you nervous and scared, not because you ugly, not because you said something wrong, but because you had this scary ass energy to you, this weak energy to you. So imagine that. No, I ain't even gotta say imagine that, but listen, it's the same as if I'll have videos and I'll be talking all that motivational, serious and crazy, like not serious and crazy stuff, but motivational, spiritual and deep stuff, right? And somebody might be like, yo, I really love the message that you putting out there. I really love the energy you bring in. I really love how you broke that down. That shit really made an impact on me. Now, you might not even know me personally, which a lot of y'all don't, right? You don't know me IRL. But at the same time, a lot of y'all know how I think. So you respect me, you like me more. All of these kinds of things. Dooney demons feel the same way. And it ain't even necessarily got to be the topics that I discuss on here. It's just the fact that when you talk, you allow people to know who you are in many different ways. So where you take the conversation, what kind of questions you ask, what kind of things you do, all allow people to know who you are without even telling them. It's the side effect of the sauce. But listen, man. Dojo to the moon to Saturn, and we leaving the solar system. The limps won't even know we exist, baby.